This is Red Hot Reds Live. Here are your hosts, Ricky Logan and Roger Strauss.
Welcome to the Red Hot Reds podcast presented by Ohio Sports Talk. I'm Roger, that's Ricky. It is Sunday at 8 p.m. and we are live. And yeah, happy Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you, Ricky. It is unfortunately a rubber match Sunday that we did not pull out this time around. And it's unfortunately kind of a damper of the week. It was 3-3. They won 3 games, they lost 3 games, and then today it was like the rubber match for the week as well, where if you win, you win the week, going 4-3. But we lost today to the Nationals, the pesky Nationals, and now we're 3-4 on the week, and we lost the week. But aside from all that, how has your week been?
It's been good. Had a T-ball game get rained out, so that was a bummer, but not really. I was kind of glad they did, to be honest. And it was just a wet one. It wasn't fun, but hey, at least we didn't have a terrible week in baseball. It could have been a whole lot worse.
Yeah, we did have a lot of rain here in Cincinnati, as you pointed out, and that kind of put a damper on just kind of being outside, just being, it just got sunny about 3 or 4 hours ago, just right when the weekend's about to end. So there you go. There's Cincinnati weather for you, where 6 days a week it's raining, and then the last 3 hours of Sunday, here you go. There's
absolutely beautiful outside right now.
Yeah, so there you have it. To go through the usual spiel, welcome again to anyone joining us for the first time, and thank you if you are joining us again. We are a Reds podcast, the Red Hot Reds podcast, where we're going to cover the Reds for the 2025 season. We're going to be doing a recap show every Sunday at 8 p.m. so we can get you set up, or we can recap the week and get you set up for next week and what's to come and what hopefully we can look forward to. We want to thank Jordan and Doug for this platform that they provide us. We also want you to subscribe on Facebook, YouTube. Ricky, I think, said that we just got 101 followers or whatever they call them on Facebook. So that's good stuff. Thank you all for that. We also have an Instagram, X page. We're a podcast, so follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get podcasts. And we also have a sponsor. We want to thank Dubby Energy, right here. Dubby, thank you. All right, Dubby Energy. They are the only energy drink, focus-free energy drink, sugar-free energy drink out there in the market. Go to dubby.gg. To get all the products there. They have energy mixers, the container there you see on that screen. And when you check out, please put in Red Hot 10 to get 10% off your order. And that also help them. And that way we can, continue doing this show, keep on giving good content for the good people. We also have something that was in the works that finally came through this week. I want to thank Sticker Mule right here. Yeah. And we've got some Red Hot Reds. There we go. Red Hot Reds stickers to give out. And what we're going to do, we're going to put out on our socials. We'll make sure that you get all the information on that. We would like you to subscribe to our YouTube page on Ohio Sports Talk, to Facebook, to X, Instagram, and send us those screenshots to us. Either, our DMs on X or, I think we have even a Gmail, redhotredspod@gmail.com, if you want to send it to an email. If you send that to us, all those receipts, Ricky's favorite word, receipts, we will send you a free Red Hot Reds sticker so you can show a friend, tell a friend, be a friend, and have some merch. We got 50 of these bad boys. Hopefully give them all out. As soon as possible. But yeah, make sure you get out there. Show us that you subscribe. Show us that you are a part of this podcast, this movement that we're trying to get the Reds hopefully red hot again. Because unfortunately, Ricky, just to transition, 3-4 on the week. Not necessarily the worst week, like you said, but what were your takeaways from this week?
Yeah, I think the rain delay didn't help with the postponement. And anything other than Hunter Green, it's difficult. You have the best, in my opinion, one of the best pitcher in baseball. He's up there, and it's just hard to follow him, but it just seems like for whatever reason we just kind of look past these teams that we should not look past. And like a team like the Nationals, they're kind of on the rise. They got some young. They're kind of like us in 23. They got some young talent, and James Wood is gonna be a star. Like he's 6'7", 230 pounds plus, has I think 9-10 home runs already on the season, and it's tough. And Dylan Cruz is going to be legit too. I think we kind of woke him up a little bit, but yeah, other than that, we didn't get swept in either series, so I'll take that. At least we split the series with the Cardinals, so that put us on a split for the homestand. So I'll take it. We're still a game above 500, so yeah, it could have been a whole lot worse.
Yeah, for sure. And shout out to Sir Boy Wonder in the chat. He says he's a Reds fan through and through, super fan, I would say. And I think we're getting him on Wednesday for our podcast. So shout out to him. Thank you for your support. Thank you for. He's probably, I don't know, he's probably one of the more optimistic fans we have. He definitely is a guy that backs the Reds no matter what, even if they're not playing well, if guys are struggling, whatever. I think you and him or a bunch of guys on Reds Twitter were trying to get standing ovations for McLean get going this week.
Yeah, just trying to get him going.
And he sure could have used it. He's still struggling a bit. They batted him in leadoff today, and it didn't look terrible, but unfortunately, they didn't have enough offense today. And there's obviously some nitpicking little things that we can get into, but my overall takeaways from the week is that it kind of, and I don't want to, pat myself on the back because I didn't want it to be this way, but we kind of set it up this week when we were talking about it last Sunday, that it was going to kind of be like this. It was going to be the Cardinals being annoying and pesky and, doing Cardinal things, not necessarily with top talent. They got Jose Barrero, shout out to him, starting out there in the outfield. So, you kind of feel like, the Cardinals are just kind of picking up scraps from the Reds to be, a second-rate team in the division. But at the same time, they still took 2 from the Reds on the same day. That straight-up doubleheader from the postponement from Tuesday. So, I guess you're feeling good that we got the getaway game, won that 9-1 on Thursday. So it would set us up for hopefully positive things against the Nationals. And Friday night looked great. Hunter on the mound, even though the rain delays, I think they pushed back all 3 Nationals games, and the Nationals game was the schedule on Sunday was pushed back as well because the Flying Pig Marathon. So they, obviously they were going to not start at their usual 1:10, 1:30, whatever they do on Sundays. So I don't know. Obviously I think me and you have gone back and forth about the whole first pitch debate that's been out there that we've seen that 640 is the people that are anti 640. They did not get any 640 starts this weekend against the Nationals, so take that as you will. Unfortunately, they only got 1 out of 3. It would have been nice to get 2 out of 3 and the week on a positive note, but I don't know, man. I think I said it last time. The Nationals come into Great American Ballpark when the Reds need 3 games or 2 out of 3 games, and the Nationals they take it from them. It's not like the Nationals own us. I'm not going to say that because I feel like when we go to Washington, we sweep them or take 2 out of 3. But when the Nationals come here, I don't know, man. It just feels like they don't. I don't know if they don't show up. They take them lightly, or they just don't. They don't execute because it feels like the Reds are a better ball club right now. And Sir Boy Wonder says Sunday show. Well, the Roku games I think start at 11:30 a.m. sometimes. Shout out to Roku picking up some national games for the Reds. I think they got some real early start times on Sunday mornings or whatnot, but not necessarily the best time. I mean, I'm still getting out of church. I don't know. 11:30 sounds still a little early for me, but I don't know. This week kind of just it kind of went the way that we kind of thought it would, but would have liked to pick up a couple more games so that they'd be 2 or 3 or 4 games above 500. But I don't know. This week again is another prove it week, which we'll set up later. They're going to be matched up against this coming week, but I think they get no off days again. It's 4 games and 3 games. So the Reds better kind of step it up. Otherwise, it might be a situation when they might go back below 500 very soon.
Yeah, let's hope not. I think our next days off is the 12th or the 13th. So we got a little while to go.
Yeah, for sure. And the one last thing I take away is that we had good performances from the Reds. You know, we had some good guys step up this week to, you know, Spencer Steers one that's kind of been coming online slowly, still sitting at that Mendoza line at 200. And but there is one guy that did step up this week just because he's been injured, and now that we are finally, you know, comfortable having 3 catchers. Now we have the appearance and the guy that's gracing us now, Mr. Tyler Stevenson himself is finally back up with the ball club, and he is looking good. And yeah. I guess the one takeaway that I have as well with Tyler Stevenson coming back is that it came at a good time because Austin Hayes is back on the IL with his hamstring, and that hopefully is not going to be a recurring thing for, you know, his hamstring. You know, you hate to see that, you know, obviously you don't want to rush him back and then he pulls it again or whatever. But I think the Reds reported that his hamstring was looking pretty good. He was still taking like batting practice. So it's not like he's full blown like pulled it. They might be being precautious by putting him on the IL. But at the same time, we need that right-handed bat coming from somewhere. And if it's going to be Tyler Stevenson, I'm all for it because he looks like he's back in a big way. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I'm happy to have him back. I was really curious, what were they going to do just because of how well Trevino and Wins have been playing. And it seems like they're kind of cooling off and Stevenson is coming in hot. So hopefully when Stevenson gets going and starts to cool down a little bit, we can get Trevino and Wins back in. They can be hot again. It feels like our catching unit's just been like the driver of our offense so far this year.
Yeah, unexpectedly. I think Trevino had a home run this week as well, so he's still racing. I think Austin Wins, his Cinderella ride might be starting to come to its end a little bit. But hey, we're still pro Austin Wins, still pro Austin Show. So we definitely want to make sure that everyone knows that we welcome Tyler Stevenson. Austin. Yeah, we welcome Tyler Stevenson back with, you know, open arms. But, you know, we have a special place in our heart for Austin Wins, Austin Hendrick, Austin Hayes, and you're right, Austin Callahan down there in the minor league system. So, you know, we're pro Austin for sure. But yeah,
Austin 316.
Yeah. The one question I have for you, Ricky, is that what do the Reds do with him, Tyler Stevenson? Is it strictly a DH and maybe every once in a while a catcher? Like we've obviously talked about a lot, and a lot of people have talked about first base is there. We're not necessarily 100% sold that Spencer Steers a first baseman, at least defensively. He might have the production hitting wise, but not necessarily an everyday first baseman, I'd say. So where do you see Tyler Stevenson in this lineup?
Yeah, I think I saw where he doesn't really like playing first base that much. So I know he likes catching, but I think Trevino is just a better defensive catcher than he is. Like with Stevenson, though, he's got the stronger arm to throw runners out. But I think the way that they've both been performing, you can afford to have Trevino catch nearly every day, have Stevenson DH, and then kind of put Stevenson in that wins role where you could have him catch on a day off for Trevino and then, I don't know, DH Steer and then work that lineup around. It's going to be really hard, though, when CES comes back. Hopefully he comes back relatively soon. And then Hayes, too, just, I don't know. It's a good problem to have, honestly, but I think I kind of lean towards DHing him just to keep him healthy and not put too much stress on his back, because if he's throwing 2-3 runners a game, that's just added stress to his oblique, and I'd like to keep it down for now, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And when Hayes came back the first time off his IL stint with his hamstring, they DH'd him a lot. So hopefully by the time that Hayes is ready to come back and or CES is ready to come back, Stevenson's in a good spot where he can catch regularly and or play first base regularly. But you're right. Yeah, it's going to be kind of competition for places. Going to be a situation where we got guys that hopefully are performing are the ones that are going to be in the lineup every day, and the ones that are struggling get a little bit of rest, reset, and be able to see the game, maybe off the bench a little bit just to allow, like, some guys that are producing to get in that lineup. And unfortunately, I don't want to say, but the Reds have kind of had a little bit of, again, streaky offense where they score, 8 runs, and then they go and get 3 or 4, and then maybe 1 today. You know what I mean? It hasn't been a consistent output when you need it, when you really need it, especially like today where it's 1-1 for about 7 innings. And then unfortunately it was the Nationals this time around that had enough offense to get the job done today. So you want to have right-handed power bats like Stevenson in that lineup as much as you can. So wherever he can get in, hopefully he'll be able to be productive, and hopefully, if he is catching, he'll be above replacement and be able to hold it down behind the plate, because I don't know, it seems like that's also been a contention point lately is not necessarily the hitters, but our bullpen. And it's kind of weird. Today they had, Taylor Rogers kind of blew one up, and Ashcraft it blew it up today with giving up 3 runs in the 7th. But Alexis Diaz is the guy that we don't know. He seemed like he was coming back off of his IL stint, possibly getting back into his usual form. But then this week, it just blew up in his face. And I don't know how to describe it. The only way I can describe it is the way that, Mr. Tom Brennan says is DUN done. Alexis Diaz, it may be done for you, sir. And not necessarily because you don't have the talent, you don't have the ability. It's just we are hopefully, like we've talked about, in previous episodes, that now Terry Francona is going to hold guys accountable and not necessarily, if you're not producing, you're not going to be put out there. Simple as that. But this week was really bad. He ended up giving up the 3-run home run. And he does the thing that Greg hates when he points up in the sky and it ends up just keep going. It's like, yeah, I don't know. It seems like the fastball is not necessarily there. He's not getting over with his off-speed pitches either. I don't know. It's hard to just kind of write off a guy this early because he just came back up. Now, I don't know. He's like 6 or 7 appearances he had before today or before this week. So yeah. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Alexis Diaz?
Yeah, he's 6 appearances. He got a 12 ERA in 6 innings, 3 strikeouts, I believe, 5 walks. His whip's 2.17. And he's the pitcher that if his fastball isn't located, you sit on the slider. And I think teams finally figured that out. It's funny enough, I think Trace Fowler over at Chatterbox Sports said that 2 years ago. He's like, hey, if you sit on his fastball, you can watch the slider go by because it's not going to be a strike. It's just when you throw 96, 97, it's kind of hard to sit on a fastball. But it's sad, honestly, because he was an all-star 2 years ago, and he's got a ton of potential still. He's only 28, and if he can figure it out in AAA and get going, I don't know if he doesn't want to be a closer. If he just feels like he has to be the closer to pitch, maybe you get him going in AAA. He's still young enough. You could probably get a decent prospect for him. But I just think the pitchers that we have now, and then some of the pitchers that are coming up soon, like we'll talk about it later. May getting promoted and Maxwell struggling, but he's gonna get it going, and he'll be up sooner than later. It's not really a spot for him, sadly, and Pagan has earned the closer role. So I don't know what do you do with him?
Yeah, I think you can stash him. You have the luxury of stashing him in AAA and having him work on his stuff. We kind of were hoping that was what happened, before he got called up, right? Like that he had, gotten his stuff corrected, figured out, his injury is past him, whatever. But at this point, it's the margins of victory are so small for the Reds that we can't afford him figuring it out at the major league level. And we've had this kind of talk with some other guys. They have to kind of, like Benson has to figure it out at the AAA level, and when he gets up, he's got to produce right away. Kind of the same thing kind of with Marte, but Marte has delivered. Bit cooling off this week, but he's still delivered, and he's still getting in the lineup, and he's batting fourth in the lineup. Like, I don't think at the start of the season, I don't think you had penciled in Marte as the fourth hitter behind Ellie De La Cruz. So
not a chance.
Yeah, that just kind of shows how much he's impressed, I think, Francona. But on the flip side, I think Diaz is on the other side of that. He's in the doghouse, and he's going to need to do some soul searching. Hopefully, getting some stuff corrected down in AAA, because you're right. There's other guys, like not necessarily just May, but a guy named Zach Maxwell is potentially kind of gunning for like a closer or a bullpen type of role with the Reds sooner than later. There's all sorts of guys that like Mole haven't been at their best. He's been injured off and on and not necessarily in great shape. Ashcraft's been great. Taylor Rogers not been at his best, but he's still, a $6 million reliever that I think you kind of have to see what you got with him, and maybe he might become a guy that's ends up being redundant, a guy that they might not need. And there was an article a couple weeks ago that he might be a trade target if there's some contenders that want a left-handed reliever. The Reds might do that potentially if they're not in contention, just as a quick aside. We're not there yet, obviously. We still got lots more baseball to play. But, that's how it should be. It should be the guys that are producing, should be the ones put in those situations, those high-leverage situations. And, sometimes it's not going to always work your way, but it doesn't look like it's not close to 2023 at all for Alexis Diaz. It looks, like you said, it looks like they figured him out. Looks like he's not locating his pitches where he wants them, and he's he's calling his home run shots all the time, and that's just ripe for memes, ripe for X content of people just going like, come on, man, cut that out. But I don't know. Any other last thoughts about Mr. Diaz?
I just hope he does get it together, just for his sake. He's got a lot of talent. Maybe if he can work on adding a third pitch, or maybe trying to find movement on his fastball. Just, you can't have a straight line fastball and a slider that you can't locate the fastball. I don't know. It's just, hopefully he gets it together. And then I guess going back to your point about Rogers, I would even consider having him be a trade piece, even if we are in contention. Just he could add a depth piece in the lineup, maybe, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, Sirboy put it out there. It's that he's got a 1.59 ERA in 14 games, but I feel like he comes on in those high leverage situations and he's got inherited runners. I feel like that happened, I think, in the San Francisco game a couple weeks back. He gave up four runs, but like 3 of them were inherited runners. Same thing, I think, today. All the runs got, I think, credited to Mr. Ashcraft, if I have that right. So like he's got a good ERA, but it's not because it's kind of screwing over his mate. You know what I mean? He's screwing over his partner there, where it's like, okay, you got the nice number. Same thing was kind of for Ashcraft for a bit, because he had like 4 unearned runs in that Seattle game. So it looked like the .85 ERA was great. But that's the thing, you know what I mean? Like stats, right? You can bend them to fit your narrative, as I think some chatterbox guys would say, just so you can get over your points. But
it reminds me of Ian Jabot in 2023. It seems like whenever he came in, like with nobody on, he would just be lights out. And then when he had inherited runners, he's like, I can kind of give a little.
Yeah, and that's why I think we had a point where Francona knew basically which guys to put in the high leverage and which guys not. He definitely, I think, figured out Jabot's not a high leverage guy. I'm not sure about Taylor Rogers yet. I'm still not convinced. Ashcraft looks like the guy in high leverage. He does come in a lot with clean innings, but you know what I mean? I think
he gave up the home run today, but that was a good pitch. That was a really good pitch. Sometimes you gotta tip your hat to the hitter.
Yeah. And speaking of relievers in general, despite the kind of small anecdotal struggles with Rogers and, Ashcraft had one against the Mariners, like the bullpen has been pretty solid this year. They even had a stat where they had 37 consecutive retired batters in a row this week. And like, that's all you ask for is like just getting guys out, getting outs. The game is you get 27 outs, you got to see what you do with them. And then on the other side for pitching, you got to get 27 outs. And if the bullpen's going to be like that, awesome. Like, I don't know what else to say. And then also I saw a piece by Mr. Charlie Goldsmith, and he had pointed out at this point last year, and this article was this week sometime, Reds pitchers had a total, Reds bullpen pitchers had a total of 7 pitches above 96 mile per hour. On Thursday, 2 relievers, this is I think the Cardinals series on Thursday, 2 pitchers had thrown 28 pitches over 97. So we're talking about like Ashcraft, May, I don't know who else can dial it up. Santion. We're talking about like, and that's kind of been the way that bullpen has gone in recent years, last 10 years or so, is that they get these guys coming out of the bullpen throwing just the fastest stuff you'll ever see. And then just like, I think there was even a game I was watching, it wasn't the Reds, but like, I forget who it was, but they were talking about like this guy throws 98, 99, and his changeup is 95. Like, what are you going to do with that? Like, I'll give it a changeup, but like, that's not a changeup. Like,
that's just taking something off your fastball.
Right. But I think, anyway, the point being is that I think they've really retooled their bullpen is the main point. And obviously, Alexis Diaz is kind of one of those guys that his velocity has dropped. Unfortunately, he was not dialing it up as much as he had been in previous years. And, I don't mind it. I think if you want to be a contender, you can't be okay with, status quo of just throwing the same guys out there, hoping that they're going to play to the back of their card, especially the bullpen, because the bullpen, year after year, it's hard to replicate that success. So I'm all for throwing in there like a Luis May. I thought it might have been too early, but maybe it wasn't early enough, because if we avoid some of those calamitous, innings that we had that lost the Mariners series, that lost, against the Cardinals in that, series, like maybe we'd have a situation where we're looking at a better record, maybe a little bit more over 500, maybe having, like a little bit more faith in our bullpen. I'm not saying we're losing faith in our bullpen. I guess I'm trying to say is that I think they're building a bullpen that's going to blow by guys. It's going to get whiffs, and I like it, just to say the least. What are you thinking about the new look bullpen?
I like it, and Sir Boy says, shout out Brent Suter, saved the bullpens by providing some long innings. Like, yeah, him and Lyon both the other day. Lyon Richardson, that might have been his best major league outing. I was impressed by him. He struggled a lot, and being, as you say, the company man he is, got sent right back down. So I'm happy about it. Suter, I think that role fits him best, is being kind of that long man, kind of save the game kind of guy. Because Chase Petty, I think he got called up too soon. I don't think he was quite ready.
Yeah,
but he did go 2 1/3, I think. Yeah, 2 1/3. His ERA is 34.71.
Yeah,
ouch.
Yeah,
but he's still young. I give him time. I think give him time. Maybe I would probably even go later in the year now. I was thinking like June or July, bring him up. I let him go. I'd say let him go like August or something. But
yeah,
I mean, if he gets hot in AAA, yeah. But if we don't need him, I'm okay with leaving him down there for as long as possible. But Luis May, like that was a good outing. What was that? 2 strikeouts.
Mm-hmm.
And who am I missing? Ashcraft has pitched pretty well. He did give up the home run, but so like I said, you got to tip your cap sometimes. And Emilio Pagan, he's not the whiff guy that Diaz would be as a closer. But if you're getting weak contact and you're getting weak fly balls and weak ground outs, like I'll take that every day of the week. I think the Reds have been that weird team compared to most where not every guy throws 100 miles an hour coming out. They have some. They have some. Like Ashcraft the other day was dialing it up. He looked like Luis May out there for a little bit. But I think if you can get a guy that can throw strikes at 96, 97, like I'll take it if you're going to get guys out. But they seem to have their I don't want to say finesse guys because 95, 96 isn't quite finesse, but I don't know. I like the bullpen a lot. I think this bullpen really surprised me. I think coming into the season, I was kind of worried, but I think there's a lot of experience in there. I think Pagan, experienced closer. Rogers, he might not be performing as what we want him, but he's got experience. I think he's probably a leader in that bullpen. And Barlow as well. He's not really performing the way we thought he would, but I think he's a leader. And having veterans in there infused with the young talent is kind of what happened. It's kind of what happened in 2010 when we got Scott Rowland the year before. We got him at the trade deadline, and then I don't know. I think just having a good leadership, knows how to win games, knows what it takes to win games, and it just that really sets the tone for the future too.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm with Sir Boy that Doug, Graham Ashcraft, Tony, Emilio, definitely trust them in the high leverage. They definitely got the stuff, at least, as far as I've seen. I even if, they, like you said, they had a couple hiccups here and there, but for the most part, they've been performing above their averages and looking fantastic. Like Pagan, 8 saves on the year. I don't think I had him. I think when we did our pre, before the season's bullpen show, bullpen outlook, I think we had like Barlow and Rogers saving games. So all credit to Pagan. Like you said, because he's not a whiff guy and because you're in Great American Small Park, it is kind of like it's kind of risky, but like you said, if he's missing barrels and getting those weak outs and fly outs or what have you, let's keep it going. Keep riding the hot hand, and it's probably good to have a Luis May in the clubhouse just in case if Pagan isn't no longer the guy or whatever it may happen. It may happen. He's there. He's right there, and like I said, Zach Maxwell's also on the way, and then as well as Sir Boy saying, like when Lauder's up or whoever might be that next guy up for a 5th starter, Martinez going in the bullpen might be the plan. I'm not sure. I think we've given Martinez enough starts to kind of see what he is, and I want to say he's more the last 3 starts than the first 3. But at the same time, we can get the next 3 starts be 3 not so great starts the next 3. You know what I mean? So it's kind of you're not sure exactly what Martinez you're going to get right now. We'd love to keep him going the way he's been. I think he went 6 innings today, one earned run. So like that we'll take that every single start. But unfortunately, we're not going to always get that from him. But if he's the long reliever, if he's the guy that comes in, like you said, if like a Chase Petty gets in trouble, he can come in and bridge to the bullpen. Yeah, absolutely would love that. Obviously, I think there's plenty of tweets out there about his $21 million payroll, and it's like, I don't know. I guess the question becomes like, are you leaning more towards like you'd rather have Martinez in the rotation or in the bullpen at this point?
I'd like to ignore the money if as hard as it says, for the Castellini family, but you I'm not tag you qualifying offered the guy knowing his role, I guess. And I think him winning pitcher of the year kind of set fuel into Hunter Green's season so far this year.
Yeah.
I thought that was a weird outcome, I guess, was him being pitcher of the year just based off of how well Hunter Green pitched. Like he got snubbed for opening day and then he got snubbed for pitcher of the year for the team. It's like, what else has he got to do? Go out and actually win a Cy Young? But might. But I don't know. It's like he's such a good long relief, like 3-inning guy that if you could, I don't like openers, but if you had a situation where you had to use one, you give Martinez the start for 3 innings, and then you give Suter 3 innings, and then you got 3 innings you go with your back of the bullpen. So I don't know. I just ignoring money. I put him in the bullpen as soon as Louder, potentially Burns come up, and then if Petty's going to figure it out. But I guess that leans towards next year. What do you do? But I don't think Martinez is going to be on the team next year anyway. So
Yeah, unless he has another kind of strong close to the season like he did in 2024. We got to get probably the most we can out of him. I guess.
Yeah.
I guess to focus a little bit on the money, I guess we got to get our money's worth. One way or another.
Yeah, true.
Whether we're using him in the bullpen or we're throwing him out there. 6 innings, 1 earned run.
He's been good. He's been really good the last 2 starts.
Obviously, we're going to see how this week goes. I think he'll probably have 1 start probably later in the week. And now, what was that? It will be against the Astros. So we'll see how that goes. All those games on the road, I believe. So that'll be a good test to see exactly where this bullpen and where the starters are at. And, also kind of see where this ball club is at. I do have, and not a scoreboard stumper, but I do have a quiz for you, Ricky, because
all right,
the transition. The next topic is talking about how the Reds have they been healthier, and I guess the data I'll throw out here is in 2024, in March, we had Matt McLean go on a 60-day, Alex Young went on a 15-day IL stint, Sam Moll 15-day. Brandon Williamson had a 15-day IL stint. Lodolo, 15-day. Jabot, 15-day. TJ Friedl, 15-day. All in March before even opening day. And then in April, Montas got hit in the elbow and had a 15-day IL stint. Now, compare that to 2025, where we have here, before opening day, the listed IL guys were Alexis Diaz got 15 days. Austin Hayes, that hamstring, 10 days right before the season start. Rhett Lauder, 15 days. Andrew Abbott, 15 days. Tyler Stevenson, 10-day. And then now in April, we have Jamer Candelario with his back, 10 days. Jabot, 15 days. Carson Spires, 15 days. CES, a 10-day stint. And Sam Moll. With that kind of being said, do you feel that the Reds are healthier this year? Are a better spot? Is it just the same old Reds? Is it baseball? Where do you land on that spectrum? Are we healthier than 2024?
It doesn't feel like it, but it feels like more. Nah, God, I hate knock on wood, but it feels like key players are staying healthy as opposed to last year. Missing McLean and then Marte with the suspension, and then Jabot, I think, because Jabot is coming off of a really good 23, and Friedl had his career year in 23, and then having him, the hamstring issues, with then getting hit in the hand every other week. It feels like no, but I think in reality, yes, just because who's being injured and who's not. And with Hayes, it's it's the same injury, kind of same. I'm assuming, is it the same leg?
I believe so. Yeah.
Hopefully, that's not more of a serious issue than what they're saying. But because you go to the calf to the hamstring, hopefully it's nothing more serious.
Mm-hmm.
Not a doctor, but don't come to me for medical advice.
Yeah.
Disclaimer.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels like it, kind of, I guess, in a weird way.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of a trick. I guess I'm kind of pulling here because yes, there is about the same amount of guys injured. The big one is McLean being out for the whole year, and we kind of have the hindsight and the understanding of oh yeah, he's going to be gone for the whole year. So we don't necessarily know that about the current guys that are on the IL. We're not wishing for that. Obviously, we're not wishing for Hayes to have continued injury and stuff like that. Same kind of thing for TJ Friedl. TJ Friedl started in the IL and then also proceeded to miss 80 games, right? So we're kind of really at an early point in the season where we have about the same amount of injuries, but we don't know if these are going to be lingering stuff. You know what I mean? Obviously Jabot and all that. We know that also the Montas was never the same after he got hit in the elbow. He had that great start to the year, winning the first 3 starts or whatever.
Did they have the best opening day a Red starters had in quite some time? If I remember right. I remember because he went 7 innings, 2 hits, no runs or something.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a great opening day.
It looks like he was back. I thought we had Oakland Montas back and not New York Montas, which, I mean, he got us Brady Singer in a way, just because we got Joey Weimer for him.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. We paid him a lot of money, which it sucks being in that position where we're that team that we have to talk about the money that a player gets. But I don't know. I was actually at a game where he got hit in the elbow, and I was up behind home plate up in like 425 or something. You could hear it, like it was loud. But I don't know. I had that same kind of fear when Hunter Green got hit the other night. Just
Yeah,
it's like, oh no, here we go. He's just like, just when we have this ace that's been the best pitcher in baseball, he gets hit, but thankfully it got him square on the shoulder and the back shoulder blade, and he seems fine. So we'll keep an eye out on us, obviously, and hopefully it's nothing too serious going forward.
Yeah, same thing for the rest of the guys in the Reds. It seems like that we don't have obviously the power to see into the future of what the injuries are going to look like and what have you in the next 6 or 5 months or whatever. So like right now, I think we're in a good spot. I like to think that TJ Friedel has found out. The reason why I also pose this question is because the Reds have hired their first, I think, and the only yoga instructor and stretching trainer out of all of Major League Baseball. And TJ Friedel is an advocate for it. So he's swearing by it. Hopefully that means he's playing 130 games this season because of all that, being flexible, whatever. So I don't know. Maybe there's something to it. I know that, obviously baseball is a rough sport on the joints because you have to be, it's a quick reflex game. So you got to be able to be, ready for any situation. So that flexibility, that strength and flexibility, hopefully translates to a healthier Red season. At the very minimum, TJ Friedel. But that's kind of the thing I saw. It's also kind of interesting. The reason why I bring it up is because the Reds being kind of innovative in a way, right? Like being the only team in baseball to hire I think she's full time or part time at least staff member to help with these guys and whatnot. So I'd love to see that she's contributing and helping this team stay healthier and winning ball games. That'd be awesome because you know what I mean? Like innovation is not necessarily like Cincinnati Reds brand. Like the motto of the Cincinnati Reds is the first professional baseball team, 1869. Like that doesn't that's not like future, you know what I mean? Like we're not like reinventing the future, except for the City Connects, like you pointed out, I think in one episode. That's like pointing to the future. So I don't know, maybe the Reds are a little bit more future focused than we give them credit for, than maybe I give them credit for. But
yeah, we celebrate the Big Red Machine, I think, way too much.
I mean, gosh,
I get it. You can make the argument them and the 27 Yankees are the two best baseball teams of all time. But I mean, that was 50 years ago. We gotta.
It's the anniversary, Ricky. It's 50
years. We just gotta get it. We gotta set a new anniversary. I'm tired of hearing about the 90 team. I'm tired of hearing about 75, 76. We don't hear about the 40 team at all. We don't hear about 1919 at all. They won. Let's talk about 2025. We're gonna win the World Series this year. Let's just speak it into existence.
Yeah, Sirboy points out we celebrate Pete Rose way too much, and that, yeah, I can see that too. I mean, rest in peace. I feel like we're going on a soapbox about the 50-year. But there's kind of milestones. I mean, obviously,
and those pesky Florida Marlins. Nah, that's an inside joke.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, it could be the what's the team that hasn't. It could be the Rockies and just have nothing really celebrate other than your ballpark just got opened 30 years ago. So,
Boy, I hate to rain on your parade, but May 14th, they're going to hear about Pete Rose a lot.
Yeah. No. You think it's going to be like a Ellie bobblehead type of day where like people are lining up from like 3 p.m.?
There might be people there the night before.
Really?
No, I don't think so. I think it'll be really, really busy. But, that game will be brought to you by FanDuel.
Yeah, well, yeah, but yeah, that is funny. You bring that up as well. That like the juxtaposition of Major League Baseball now with gambling being, accepted. I'm not excusing Pete Rose. You can't bet on the game and be in the game because there is credibility factors.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I don't know. It's just now they're in bed with gambling. So I feel like there's been like a rant by Elliot rearing about this that's coming to mind. But
yeah, his Twitter post went viral. It had I think it was 3 million people saw that tweet.
About the
It was
gambling one?
Yeah, about Pete died, put him in the Hall of Fame. Meanwhile, you have all these teams sponsored by multiple sports betting companies, and I get it. It's legal now, but it also you're still not allowed to bet during. I don't think if you have an account, they track your accounts, and if you're logged in the vicinity of the ballpark, you're out. That happened to an umpire.
Really?
The umpire had an account he shared with a friend that he didn't bet on baseball, but his friend did, I think. But they shared an account, and when I think he left it signed in. He's one of the best umpires too. He actually called a perfect game for an umpire. He didn't miss a call.
Oh, okay.
But he's banned for I don't think it's for life, but I think it's for a year, which is funny in itself. And then if I want to go down another rabbit hole about shoeless Joe Jackson, put that man in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I don't think there needs to be moral tests for Major League Baseball. We also talked about this with Schilling. The morality police it's not the hall of the morally good. You know what I mean?
It's all about being the best player in the game. It doesn't matter who you vote for, who you like or don't like. I mean, look at Marge Schott. She's a terrible person, but she won a World Series. I'm not I'm not trying to bring happiness to who she was, but she was. If she did two things right, she got kids involved and she got a World Series to Cincinnati for the first time since '76. Yeah. But that being said, she's still a terrible person, so we can't ignore it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just Schilling should absolutely be in the Hall of Fame. You can make the arguments for Bonds and everybody else, but David Ortiz got in and he used PED. So how come we're excusing him because he played for the Red Sox? At that point, put A-Rod in, put Bonds in, put Teixeira in, put Miguel Tejada in, put all these guys in. Just put a star next to their name saying at this time, these players, all of them, I mean, it was over 300 players on the Mitchell report that used them. And it wasn't just hitters, it was pitchers too. Eric Gagne tested positive. I mean, Roger Clemens, name a guy, he probably did it, but it's here we go going down a rabbit hole. What did this turn into?
No, I mean, it's a different era of baseball. So there should be a steroid era wing. And I think there was a sports writer that put it out there that they just put it on their plaque, get over it. In more or less that terms of put it on there, steroid era. There was a dead ball era. Are the dead ball era guys not legitimate baseball players because they all doctored the ball and made 12 inning games with one hit ball and no one could get any, and it's just different eras of baseball. Obviously we're in a different era now, not post, but obviously we're still trying to legislate it out, but it's still, it's a part of the game one way or another. Not wanting it to be a part of the game, but
right. And if I can add one more thing too, and I am in no way speaking negatively about this league at all, by any means. The Negro Leagues stats being added to Major League Baseball, I like it and I don't like it. I think on Michael Ballantyne's show, we talked about it when they initially ruled that they would be. So I think there's a new all-time batting average leader, all-time not hits record, but there's a couple other prominent batting records that are now led by players of that league. I get it. It's not fair. And I think if we went back in time, we would change it just because of morality's sake. We would have, I don't think Jackie wouldn't have been the first. He would have been one of many. You know what I mean? And because some of those players were just so much better than what MLB had. And I understand them kind of making right and having them be included. But I guess just my one argument is if that's going to be the case, then how come we can't put the steroid guys in? Just
Good take.
And I don't like cheating. I want to make that clear. But Bonds from 86 to 99 was one of, if not the best player in the game. But he was completely overshadowed by everything Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa did.
Yeah.
Him and Griffey both.
Yeah.
And Griffey, everything he did in Seattle got overlooked by what Sosa and McGwire did chasing 70. And I think with Bonds, had he not used, because it's only been documented from, I think it was 99, 2000 to 2003 was when he was using the cream that they said. Because he never injected, it was some kind of cream. And he never had a positive test for Bonds' case. I'm a Bonds fan, by the way. But
yeah.
And like it's been documented. Sosa failed test. McGwire failed test. McGwire had pills on his clubhouse locker. And I don't know. I think he probably comes close to, and if not, still breaks the home run record had he not used. Because, I mean, people feared him as a hitter. I mean, how many times did he get walked with bases loaded? I mean, he was just, and Chipper Jones talks about it all the time. He was just a crazy hitter.
Yeah.
Now back to the show.
One last point on the Negro Leagues being integrated and all that good stuff is like, you're right about like, it's a good take to say like, if we can admit in the Negro League stats and like fully integrate baseball, not just with black players and white players, whatever, but like with the stats as well, like, why not put the steroid guys in? Because you got the guys that are pre-integration that played without black players. They're Hall of Famers, right? Should they not be Hall of Famers? They didn't get to play against any black players.
Maybe their numbers wouldn't be as good.
Yeah, they didn't play against Satchel Paige.
I doubt they would be. Satchel Paige is probably the best pitcher of all time.
Yep, they didn't have to pitch to Josh Gibson. Like, there's some Hall of Famers that, I think they're all Hall of Famers, and they should be in. Obviously, you know, there's obviously different levels of stuff of who should be in that whatnot. But yeah, I would say clip that, Rick. That will go viral. Get them in.
Went down a rant. Went down a rabbit hole.
All good. To get the show back on track, though, we'll get to our regular segment that we do every week. It is the Red Hot Reds Player of the Week. And I had a couple because I always feel like I'm going to pick the same guy as you. So I got to make sure that I don't. Otherwise, you know, we guess we have the same co-player of the week. But Ricky, who's your guy for the Red Hot Reds of the week?
I had a couple. I'm going to go with Jose Trevino. Over his last 7 games, he's batting .292 with 3 strikeouts, a walk, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, and he's just been on a roll that I don't think any of us expected getting him. He's never been known as a hitting catcher, and for him to add that to his arsenal as being a Platinum Glove award-winning catcher, I like it. I like it a lot, and I'm really glad that we kind of made an even trade. You know, Fernando Cruz has been playing very well for New York, and it kind of reminds me, like, not to the extent, but of Josh Hamilton for Edinson Volquez back in the day. Like, that trade was even on both sides. We both got an all-star Cy Young candidate, I believe. He never got close, but he was at least in the running. Yeah. And then Josh Hamilton just being that crazy good player for the Rangers for a while, and then. But yeah, Jose Trevino, I'm happy we got him. I think he's a real good clubhouse guy too, and everyone wants to harp on India. Oh no, we got rid of India he's the leader. I think we have multiple leaders now, and you know, I think India's batting like sub 200. So I'll take a good performing catcher and a great leader, and I like India a lot. I don't want to take anything away from them, but I think we had a good return for the Fernando Cruz trade and the India trade.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Jonathan India. He's also playing a pretty good ball club in Kansas City out there. They probably playoff contenders at the very least out there. Bobby Witt Jr. and all. They got some arms out there too. Isn't it Seth Lugo, one of their aces out there?
Yeah.
So they got some talent out there in Kansas City. We'll see what they do in that AL Central. Pretty stacked. But anyway, my guy for Red Hot Red of the Week is the man of the people, Mr. Hunter Green. And he had that delayed start, but on Friday night with the rain, but that did not bother him at all. In fact, I don't know if maybe that made it easier to mow some guys down. He went 6 innings, 12 strikeouts, just looked electric, just blowing past guys. And like he said, the quote, man of the people, he wanted to get those people that came there stuck around the ballpark that La Rosa's free pizza for getting 11 strikeouts. So all 400 green. In the shows that we did before the season, I had a kind of a fear that he would regress because he had such a great ERA, such a great, dominant performances throughout 2024. I had a feeling there would be some slight regression because it's hard to just pitching is not easy. Obviously, all these guys are coming with, scouting reports and they've seen your stuff because Hunter Green's been out there, a long time. It's not like he's a fresh young pitcher just coming up there blowing past guys with stuff they haven't seen. He's reinventing himself. He's becoming a guy that not only you trust with every 5 days, but he's going to win you ball games by himself if he has to. So shout out to Christian Hunter Green, Red Hot Red of the Week. So any other guys you want to shout out? Any nominations or anything like that?
I was going to add Ellie with if he would have had that home run today, but they ruled it a foul ball. But I wanted to say something else about Hunter Green too. He saved mine and Mike's record on the Chatterbox pregame show.
Yeah,
I think we're 6-1 now with an asterisk because the Monday game got rained out. But yeah, that's a lot of fun. I just Hunter Green, man. What else can you say about him? Just he's becoming a pitcher, not just a thrower. Like he's not just a guy throwing 100 miles an hour every pitch. He's also locating it to like pinpoint precision. Like he's locating it on the dot, inside, outside, up, down, doesn't matter. Wherever Trevino sets up is where he's putting it. And man, he's my front runner, if not number 2 for Cy Young this year. I'm going to keep riding that. Yeah,
for sure. He seems to just get better and better each time he's out there, and his contract seems to get cheaper and cheaper every time he gets out there too.
Yes.
So we'll take that both ways. Castellini is probably every time just like, even if he's not winning games, he's not costing him money. But anyway, that transitions now into our weekly segment of the Reds Facebook comment of the week. And this one's kind of an interesting one. We played, I think, the Rockies last weekend. But this comment obviously got put out there about Reds legend. Or no, it was when did Martinez? When was this?
This was against the Cardinals when he he only gave up a couple hits. It wasn't much. The one run.
My bad. I was thinking for some reason the Rockies series. I don't know why I had that in the head. Anyway, but yeah, this one here. Oh gosh, what do we got here, Ricky?
Maybe Nick Martinez should focus on pitching instead of celebrating when the outfield makes a play. I think this is in regards to when TJ Friedl made a nice sliding catch and got hyped. So, I mean, he only gave up 1 run that game, I believe. So, I mean, what do you want from the guy?
I don't know. Maybe this guy never played team sports. I guess he didn't see the Brent Suter freaking out about Ellie De La Cruz as well.
That's awesome.
Is he anti-Brent Suter about that too? Like, I don't know.
Or the fact that Suter's shadow looked like a turtle. I don't know if you saw that. That was hilarious.
Yeah. I don't know. With this one, it makes me feel like the Reds, or not the Reds, baseball fans in general. I don't know. I thought
never happy.
Yeah, I would say I thought we were making progress. We're allowing bat flips, celebrations, a little bit of showing a personality without the repercussions of the next time he's up, he gets thrown the ball at his head type of thing. I thought we're past that era because I don't know. You want to see, joy. It's baseball is a game of failure. You know what I mean? Like the best players fail, 7 out of 10 times. I don't understand.
It's a kid's game. Yeah. At the end of the day, it's a kid's game with people getting paid to play it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, be happy. If you want to throw, show some respect. But if you want to throw the bat and celebrate, do it. I mean, Trevor Bauer started the pitching side of it. We're doing swords and cracking open beer cans. Like, I love it. Show some emotion. I like Hunter Green pounding on his chest and Ashcraft getting all fired up. Like, I love it. Like, I want more of it.
And that's also the hard thing about baseball is that it's tough to show emotion sometimes because you're grinding 162 games a year. But when it comes out of you, it's obviously coming from a place that you're genuinely like. It's not like he's doing it to be showy. I don't think. I don't know. I didn't think it was that way. That he was being like, like you said, being like showboating or kind of shoving it in the, the other team's face. I don't think anything like that. Usually, baseball is like, man, you see good plays. Fans get up out of their seat. Like what you can't tell like the fan to sit down if he focus on cheering on your team, not celebrating when they out. I don't know. Anyway, this is Reds Facebook. I don't know. This is why we do this, so we can just laugh at them, I think.
Yeah.
But now, moving on, we're going to be focusing on our minor leagues and a segment we call 3 Up, 3 Down. And we actually, I think I got 4 guys again. I keep wrecking our rules where I try to like go around
3.5 up, 3.5 down,
4.5, 6.5, whatever it ends up being. It's still 3 guys more or less that are shining for our minor league system. The AAA guy he's come on in late. I think he actually, I don't know if I have updated stats because the minors kind of rained out as well this week. So there's a bunch of double headers today for the bats, and I want to say for Louisville or for Chattanooga.
Chattanooga had a doubleheader today.
Yeah, so like they had to make up some time. So there's a bunch of stats that came in today. But AAA is Mr. Reese Hines, Mr. 1 week wonder. Hopefully a guy that will be called up pretty soon. He went 7 for 24, 2 doubles, a triple, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs for the weekly cycle going on there. But yeah, and he's got 29 RBIs on the season. And, they started, I think, a week after the majors. So like, I think he'd be leading the Reds in RBIs if he was like on the Reds, right? Like, anyway, that's not here nor there. AA, there's 2 guys. I'm really liking the stuff from Jose Acuna. He went 5 innings, 8 strikeouts, just 3 hits, no one runs. But then also our main man, Mr. coming up through the system, pretty quickly, Mr. Chase Burns, 5 innings, and he had 8 strikeouts as well with just 1 earned run, and got a 2 ERA at Chattanooga right now. So like, he'll be in Louisville, I think. I think we were talking about after All-Star break. I don't know. He might be there before All-Star break if he's going to pitch like this. And then also at single A, we got our guy, Mr. Ricky Cabrera. He went 4 for 10 and 2 RBIs. And the weird thing about Cabrera that I saw for Dayton is that he didn't play the last 2 games. I didn't check to make sure. Hopefully he's not injured or anything like that. But he only played like 3 out of the 6 games this week, 4 of the 6 games this week for Dayton. Not sure if that's just a rotation thing because single A or whatnot, but I don't know. It was weird. I didn't see anything in the box score for Mr. Cabrera. What are your thoughts here for these 3.5, 4 guys?
Yeah, I like the 2 pitchers, especially Burns. He's on a fast track to AAA. What I say our over under was 3.5.
Yeah, you put it at 3.5.
He might go over. He might hit 4.
Yeah,
he might be called up, but
that still might be before the All-Star break.
It could be, yeah. And so I mean that puts him on pace to be on the major league team by August, mid-August, September, early September.
I think we can guarantee he's going to be a September call-up, much like Lauder. I guess the question becomes, is he going to be there before September?
He keeps doing what he's doing. He could be. He could honestly skip AAA. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. But no, I think they're going to give him the Lauder treatment. And I honestly, I probably wouldn't even be shocked if he didn't get called up this year, just to kind of keep him on an innings limit. Maybe I don't know, keep him fresh, and then next year get him in the rotation. But yeah, Cabrera, it's funny. I think he's batting 187 on this season.
Yeah,
but he's still young. I think he's 20.
Yeah,
and he's got time. And he was what was he, a 2022 international free agent signing? He was like one of the tops in this draft international class.
Yeah.
The next year we got Alfredo Duno, which he was like the number 5 overall player. I think he was the highest rated catcher since Gary Sanchez, I want to say. And then the next year we got Adolfo Sanchez from, I want to say he was from the Dominican Republic. I might have misspoke the last time we talked about him, but Yeah, Cabrera. I think he's going to be a good hitter. It's going to take time, and he kind of. Well, how do you do? He was in last year. He was in Daytona, and he. Let me see. He hit 252. So, and he hit 356 and 23. So I think he'll find it. It's kind of an adjustment. He played in the ACL for a while. I think he played in the Complex League for 1 year, or Dominican League for 1 year, and then went to Arizona and then Daytona in 23. No, whatever it was. But he's in Dayton now. Whatever it matters. But
Yeah.
I like him mostly because of his name. I'll take it. But Reese Hines, man, like if he can get going, he's if Austin Hayes is going to miss more time than we think, he would be a good promotion to have on there. You can't expect the week that he had. That's just unprecedented. But if he could come up, hit a couple home runs, drive some guys in, play solid defense, I mean, I'm almost curious, and this is off topic again, but I'm almost curious to see if they're stashing Will Benson for a trade piece. Because they've had multiple chances to bring him up. And the way they used him has been weird, right? Like they bring him up, he faces Justin Verlander, strikes out 3 times, comes in against a reliever, strikes out, golden sombrero, back down. Then he goes on a tear, hits, I don't know, how many home runs does he have this year? It feels like he has 100.
Yeah.
But it almost feels like they're stashing him. He's got 6 home runs this year. He's batting .282. He's got 5 stolen bases too. Like, are they stashing him? Because he could be a red 3-up every week, it feels like. But I don't know, man. It just.
Yeah, I'm not sure. His major league tape, to borrow a term, is not great. So I'm not sure if they are going to be like, oh, yeah, he's hitting in AAA. Yeah, we're going to use him as a trade piece. I don't know. I really think they haven't given up on him, and maybe they're just trying to get his confidence way, way back up and bring him up when they really need him in the outfield if Hines isn't hitting. But I feel like Hines is probably going to be the first guy or the next guy up for an outfield spot. But I don't know. You never know. We could be talking about totally different. It could be flipped next week where Benson's still ripping the ball or hitting the ball really well, and maybe Hines is struggling. So I don't know. It's a good question. I don't see him being traded again. He's already been traded from Cleveland to us, so I can't, unless he's just kind of a part of a package deal with some other prospects. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't see a straight up.
He's got 10 hits he's got a hit in 10 out of his last 12 games.
Dang.
Benson does. Like I don't know. Like you bring up Tyler Callahan. And I get it. You want to kind of get a fresh, major league debut up there, and he did get his first hit yesterday.
RBI single. Yeah.
Yeah, and who knows, would Benson have struck out in that situation? I would hope not, but it's tough because I think we there's history with him and Francona, but I don't think it's the history that we kind of want because he did get traded.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a great guy. He's a likable guy, and Francona's spoken very highly of him just when they have talked about him.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Just production speaks for itself, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe they want him to prove a little bit more. I'm not sure exactly because talk about some guys getting long ropes like Steer and Fraley, and now McLean's kind of on a long rope. Like Benson is not getting that benefit of the doubt. So that probably could be another show. We could do for
Wednesday. We'll talk about it with Sir Boy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right. Coming up Wednesday. Check that out, Sir Boy, 8 p.m. I think we going live.
Yeah, we'll go live.
All right. Sounds like we're going live.
Go live.
We'll
do it live.
No, we're gonna go 3 down with some guys that have been struggling. Unfortunately, we got some repeat, or at least one repeat guy. Zach Maxwell had a really bad outing. It was like 6-6, bottom of the 9th. Gave up a grand slam. Blew the save, lost the game, and he didn't get any outs. He had a couple walks in that inning, just nothing really going that inning for him. Unfortunately, hopefully that'll be like the low water mark for him, and he can bounce back and do better from there. Austin Hendrick really struggled this week too. 0 for 13, 0 for with 3 strikeouts only. So like I think the reason why I put that in there is that it's not like he's not blowing past him. He's not striking out like half the time. So maybe there's some positive nuggets in there where he's putting the ball in play and making the defense make plays. I don't know. I'm not grinding Austin Hendrick tape every night, but that's what I saw at least. He's not striking out a bunch, which can be a positive. And then Malvin Valdez, the Daytona guy, 1 for 18. He did have 7 strikeouts, so that's the concerning part. And he's only hitting 138 on the season. Still a young guy. I think he's only 20 as well. In Daytona. So I'd like to hopefully see him on the 3-up, hopefully in the near future. But
He'll be
not
on there.
yeah, not necessarily in that. And another unfortunate outfielder, struggling outfielder. So I feel like we highlight a lot of struggling outfielders on this show, and then we're kind of proving Clay Snowden right that our outfield minor league depth is, hopefully we're going to be talking up Reese Hines and Will Benson the next couple of weeks when they're about to get into the Major League Ball Club in June and July potentially or sooner. But any thoughts on these 3 guys?
Yeah, I think Valdez has a lot of tools that he can really build on. Maxwell, I mean, he as a reliever, you have such a short, I guess, leash. I don't want to say leash. What's the word I'm looking for? Short margin for error.
Yeah.
Yeah, one bad outing will balloon all your stats.
Oh,
and Austin Hendrick, man, I'd love to get him on the show because he just seems like such a likable guy. I'm sad that we just, I don't know, wasted a first round pick, I guess. Just, I don't know. That draft class still wasn't great in 2020. And I've said it before, his situation was so unique. In Pennsylvania, they canceled the all sports during the pandemic. I don't want to use the word. I don't know if you still get banned for it. But the pandemic happened. He basically missed his senior year of baseball. So the Reds drafted him based off his junior season, which was great. I mean, he was really good, and they earned him a first-round pick. And I think that they projected that he would have done well his senior season. And then the reshuffling of the minor leagues in 21, when they kind of brought the minor leagues back, they kind of made some weird decisions. And I don't know. I just think outfield depth for the Reds has been so bad. I don't even know how far back it goes. Just, I'm at a loss.
Yeah, for sure. Couple other minor league notes is Rhett Lauder will be making a rehab start, I think, at the Arizona complex on Tuesday. And I think the plan is to then have him go to Dayton to get even some more stuff. And also Cam Collier taking some batting practice as well. He's potentially on the way back, hopefully, from his injury. So two top prospects getting back into the system, hopefully sooner than later, and hopefully back on the field and doing big things for the Redlegs. So
and I don't want to key any more bad, but an honorable mention for 3 down would be Ariel Almonte. Just 73 at bats. He's batting .096 with the home run. He's got an OPS of 346. Yikes. But he's a power guy who's got a potential. And 1,100 at bats, he's got 37 home runs. So he's got a 689 career OPS. He's power speed guy. 37 homers, 24 stolen bases in his career, and he's still only 21, I believe. Yeah, he's only 21. He's in Dayton. I don't know. Do you send him down and put him back in Daytona and just kind of let him work on it? But it seems like Daytona is such a rough place to kind of figure out hitting, which is why I was kind of surprised that Sammy Stafora and Alfredo Duno were sent back down there, because I think Duno, the way he played last year, could have earned a promotion to Dayton, and I think he'll earn it relatively soon. He's not having the greatest year, but Reds catching depth is just so abysmal. Like there's nobody, and he's kind of like your only hope, but he's still like at least 3 years away from the big leagues, if not longer. And I don't know. It just Almonte, we need outfielders, and it just seems like every outfielder just does not hit.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know. It's definitely maybe there's just a log jam and Staforo's been looking pretty good too. So I don't know. Maybe there's just a log jam up in Dayton that they can't get them spots or guarantee at bats there. So maybe the reason why they're there in Daytona is just to guarantee them at bats every day. So I don't know. There's that. But yeah. Any other notes or anything from the minors?
No.
So this week is going to be an interesting week. We got another 7-game slate. First 4 against the Braves and Atlanta, and then 3 in Houston. So this will be kind of another prove-it week for the Reds. Unfortunately, I don't know. I guess I didn't want to lead off the show stealing Elliot's content, but his tweet talking about this was an easy stretch, and the Reds just are missing opportunities by not beating the Nationals, by not beating the Cardinals. They obviously got that sweep against the Rockies, but if they took 2 out of 3 from the Rockies, then that looks like a wasted opportunity as well. But luckily they haven't done that. Knock on wood. But the other stat that was kind of jumping out to me that hopefully they can do this week is that the Reds are 13-4 when they score the first run, and when the other team scores, they obviously are 5-13. So we got to jump out on these teams. We got to hold down. The Braves have had their struggles. We actually kind of documented in the show and talked about a little bit that hopefully we can kind of at least get 2 in Atlanta. That'd be, I think, best case scenario. Don't get swept, obviously. Same thing for the Houston series. You take 2 out of 3 from them. That's a fantastic week. 4-3, I think, is what we predicted last week, and it didn't come to fruition. So hopefully this is the 4-3 week that we were talking about. Obviously both of these teams are pretty solid, even though their records are both under 500. So that's a bit deceiving. Somebody might say, oh, the Reds should take 3 out of 4 and easily win these series. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be easy that way. I think the Astros got a guy named Brown that's been pitching pretty well. Is Hunter Brown, you want to say?
Yeah.
So, if we get one of his starts, there might be obviously a potential L there. But, I don't know. How do you see these 2 series stacking up?
Yeah, let's just not be the team that gets Acuna going, and Austin Riley's got 8 home runs. I think I can't even find Acuna on the list here. Does he have a home run this year?
He's been in and out of the lineup, I thought. They're playing right now on ESPN. Ooh. No free ads. Sorry.
Shout out the worldwide leader, I guess.
My bad.
No, I don't think he has a home run this year. Austin Riley's batting .294, and then their third best hitter is batting .244, Alzi Albis. Michael Harris is batting .222. So let's just hope that we're not the team that gets them going, because they are struggling. Stuart Fairchild, former Red.
Shout out.
I think he's only got like a handful of hits, if that.
He did throw that guy out at third that one time for that highlight. So
he's got 1 hit since he's been on the Braves.
So does that make it the right decision? I don't know. Is that too soon to say?
It depends on how well cash considerations turns out.
Gasolines love cash consideration.
Future All-Star.
Future. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah, I don't know. This series, they both kind of scare me, especially coming off the loss to the pesky Nationals at home.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Cardinals series didn't go our way, but we kind of saw that coming because it's a divisional opponent, and the Cardinals came in kind of hot, taking the series against the Brewers. And I don't know, man. If this is the thing about the Reds too, right? They play down sometimes to their opponents, but then sometimes, like last year, they won the series against the Dodgers and the Yankees on the season. So, whatever. These 2 teams are obviously favorites to win their division before the start of the season. It's obviously not going their way. But, yeah, I agree with you for sure. We should not be the get right series for both of these teams because that's going to be Reds country is going to be in a lot of pain at that point. If this team, and I put it out, I think in my piece that I put out this week, the Reds have elite pitching. They are top 4 in ERA. They are the best in WHIP, and then they also have like some of the best K for 9 in the game. Like we can't waste this pitching. We just have to get enough offense to get going. Hopefully Ty Steve is that guy to get us a little bit as a spark, you know what I mean, to break us out of the monotony of not scoring runs. He had the home run today, shout out to him. But like we can't be the team that has these fearsome pitching dominant starts and just waste them.
Yeah, and looking forward to the Astros series. They've got a 4-way tie for the lead in home runs with Altuve, Isaac Paredes, Jeremy Pena, and Christian Walker. Yordan Alvarez has kind of been slow to start the season. He's batting .210 with 3 homers. And then pitching wise, their ERA leader is, or no, that's earned runs. Come on, get with the program here. There it is. ERA leader is Hunter Brown with a 1.67 ERA. So and that's only by qualified. And then their second qualified starter is Framber Valdez, who's got a 4.39 ERA. But the strikeout wise, they got a lot of guys that can generate swings and misses. Hunter Brown's got 49. Valdez has 37. Ryan Gusto has 29. Ronel Blanco 26. So they got a solid rotation. It's just their lineup is just not performing, and they're all getting older. Like Jose Altuve's 34, and they got him in the outfield now for some reason. Just that seems like a disservice, honestly. I get it. You're not the second baseman you once were, but you put him in the outfield, like just DH him. He's still performing, kind of, but. I don't know. What do you think about the Astros kind of looking ahead to the weekend series?
Really hoping I saw Framber pitch against Kansas City last week, and he looked good. He had 8 innings, but he ended up getting a loss, complete game loss, I think, to our favorite. But he looked pretty good. And I think he had a no-hitter last year. So he's like, if we miss Hunter Brown and Framber in this series, think
got a chance.
We have
a chance.
Yeah, I mean, we hopefully definitely need to take advantage if we're going to not hit their top line starters. I saw we see Chris Sale in the middle of the week against Atlanta, but he's not looking like the Cy Young self. So I don't know. It could go 2 ways. We could be the get right series for both these teams, or we could be the Reds that we should be playing up to what we've been playing, so far, and take advantage of these teams that are down. They're not playing their best baseball, but they could be saying the same thing. Like the Reds are not playing their best baseball. They just lost to the Nationals and split with the Cardinals. So like, that's what I say. It's kind of a prove it week. What Reds team's going to show up? We got Singer on Monday. So hopefully we get 15 runs of run support for Mr. Brady Singer. And then we're going to be super positive going in the rest of the week. But we'll see. I think it's definitely a prove it week. You got to win 4 out of the 7 if you want to be like still contending. The pesky Brewers are still kind of right there behind us in 3rd place. The Cubs look like they're going to be good this year. They score a lot, and they have some decent pitching, even though they lost Justin Steele. So it looks like it's the Cubs division to lose. We just got to try to stay within striking distance, because if we're going to fall off this early in the year and give like the Cubs like a 6 or 7 or 8 game division lead, then what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like this is not what we signed up for. We wanted to be competitive with Terry Francona, and that starts this week, right? Like we got to do it now.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the division standings for the NL East. Like the Mets are kind of not really, but kind of rolling with it. They're 22-13. The Phillies are right behind them at 19-15. Like it feels like the NL East is a lot like the NL Central this year. Like the Mets are like the Cubs. I don't want to say we're the Phillies, but we kind of are a little bit. And
At
then
the moment, yeah.
The Nationals remind me of us in 23. Just they have a lot of young talent. Like that that pitcher today. Was it
Gore, Mackenzie
Gore? Yeah, I was thinking Gray. They do have Josiah Gray too, don't they? Former Red prospect.
Yep.
Like they got pitchers, they got really good prospects coming up. Like we talked about earlier with James Wood and Dylan Cruz and
CJ
Abrams, and I think is it Brady House? He's about to maybe potentially come up soon. I think he's I think one of their highly rated prospects. Like they have guys, and they really remind me of us in 23. Just like I don't know if the Mets go cold, which they usually do at some point in the season, and the Phillies, their stars are kind of getting older. It's like Bryce Harper's, I think my age, he's 33. Castellanos maybe running out of that Castellanos magic where bad things happen and he homers.
Yeah. Schwarber's up there in age too.
Yeah, Schwarber, Middletown guy. Maybe we can get him in, just revitalize his career. I don't know, like the teams like the Braves, they're 14 and 18. Like they haven't got it going, and maybe it's just time. Maybe like because you only have so many years in a window, no matter how old talent is. Like Acuna is still what 20, 25, 26, 27.
I want to say he's 27.
He's had multiple knee injuries. Austin Riley's still producing. Matt Olson's producing kind of pretty well too. But it seems like their core is just kind of like fading in a weird way. Maybe they go in and they blow it up. Maybe not this year, but if they don't perform this year, they might have to do something because it seems like Spencer Strider, I think, was he hurt again? And
yeah,
not pitching well, coming off of Tommy John, and Chris Sale's getting up there in age too. Like it's kind of expected he's going to fall off. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just the Braves. They got all their players on such cheap contracts too, which is funny. Just the deal Acuna got was like, how in the world they pull that off?
No, yeah. Let's take advantage of these teams, kick them while they're down, and kick them while they're old. You know what I mean? That's the best thing we can do. Is like I said, it'd be really surprised. It would be so Reds that they come out and compete against these, like established ball clubs that have won in the past. You know what I mean? Playing up to their level, as opposed to, I'm not denigrating the Cardinals and the Nationals completely. They're still professional ball players, but they're not. They should not be where the Reds are, if that makes sense. Like we should be winning those series at minimum, splitting and winning, right? Like what I mean? I don't know. Don't get swept this week is the worst case scenario. And
worst case for me is take two out of 4, and then hopefully you don't get swept versus Houston.
Yeah, well, they don't have the pitching matchups yet. I think for that Astros series, just really would avoid some of their better ones. But yeah, we'll see. It'll be another week. You got any pregame shows this week, Rick?
Friday for sure. There's a potential for Thursday. We're kind of seeing who's gonna. We haven't had a Thursday show yet. Just because they've all been either off days or they've been super early because they kind of like to do the later in the afternoon, like 6 o'clock start times. But I think with them being on the road, not being a getaway game, I think Thursday they're gonna find somebody to go with me. So,
right.
Thursday and Friday this week. I don't think I have a Monday for a couple weeks.
Double duty again, but Thursday, Friday, end of the week. Yeah, so
our record's pretty good, man. We're 5-1, 6-1, something like that. So
well, you should be telling your bosses there that they should be putting on every day, so that way we can win every series and get it going. I mean, not every day, but 2 out of every 3 games.
It's a lot of fun. It's a different dynamic. It's kind of like it's uptight. You know your stuff, kind of. I take so many notes for that. Like, not saying I don't for this. It's just like I have to like to the day who's batting average against the pitcher going and live weather reports and everything else. Like it's fun though. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. Catch Ricky Thursday, Friday on that show, C-Box, on YouTube, and subscribe. Get your free sticker. We'll send those out. Hopefully, otherwise we'll find you and we'll send it to your house anyway, whether you like it or not. But
Catch
yeah,
us at a game. We'll give you one there.
yeah. Thanks again, Ricky, for all the stuff behind the scenes and all that good stuff. We'll be tuning in Thursday and Friday, and yeah, anything you got for the show?
Just go Reds, man. Go Reds.
Go Reds.
We're the Reds. Red hot. We're the Reds. Red hot. We're the Reds.